we talk about pipelines, think about the fact that we have over 3 million miles of regulated pipelines in the country, responsible for nearly 2/3 of all the energy that we use every day. It's a lot of pipelines and a lot of stuff goes through them. When it comes to pipeline incidents, 2/3 of them have nothing to do with the pipeline at all. It has to do with third parties, meaning people not associated with the pipeline company damaging the pipeline, most often by getting on the right-of-way, the easement that these pipelines have, and they dig without calling 811, or they dig or they're unaware because they don't know what is in the ground beneath them. And they end up damaging the pipeline. They end up damaging underground infrastructure like sewer, gas, telecom, all that kind of stuff. Well, it was wonderful. And now looking back, it's been almost 20 years. What's great about at that time, PHMSA was a new agency created by Norman Mineta, the Secretary of Transportation. And I was lucky enough to be able to serve in his department, and he asked me if I would head up PHMSA. You know, it's a great agency with a great mission. We've always called it the little agency that could. And they have a very important safety mission, and that is to make sure that anything that is transported that involves hazmat by air, land, rail, sea, and pipeline is both safe and secure as it moves from point A to B. Fantastic mission, wonderful agency, great folks. It's really important, and that was one of the highlights also of my time at PHMSA, was being able to roll out this 811 system. Before then, you had to call different 800 numbers, different local numbers. You could never figure out who to call. And so by creating this national one-call 811 number, we wanted to make it very easy for anybody to call one call. And that's because we don't know what is in the ground beneath us, at our homes, at our businesses, out in the middle of the street. And the only way to be sure is to have all the underground utilities marked before we start digging. And as I said earlier, damage prevention is very important, because we know we can eliminate 2/3 of all of the underground incidents if people would just call 811. It's free. It's also the law, but the most important point is people will come out and mark all the underground utilities for you, so you don't have to guess where things are buried. You don't have to worry about cutting your cable or your phone, or worse, hitting electric or natural gas systems. Yeah, so we know that PHMSA is the pipeline safety regulator, but as I said earlier, they also regulate the safety of hazmat that's carried in trucks, on rail cars, on ships, and by airplanes. And so every 2 years, PHMSA, in coordination with Canada and Mexico, comes out with the North American Emergency Response Guidebook, the ERG. 2024, hot off the presses. Most people aren't going to have them yet, but if you're a first responder, you know what the Orange Book is. You know it as the ERG. It's carried in every single first responder's vehicle, every fire truck in the country. And it is so important because it tells us how to respond, how to isolate, and how to deal with any hazmat incident. And that also includes pipeline. There's a pipeline section. So really important. Please make sure you get your hands on the latest copy. Give the agency kudos for coming out with this on time. And there's some great new additions in here, but also give the agency feedback. And I'd love to hear your feedback as well on things that we can do to further improve the guidebook.